Hello and welcome to Voices from the Left. I'm your host, Craig. Thanks for listening. I am back after a prolonged hiatus, and I've reached a small milestone. This is going to be episode 25 of my show, and I thought we should do something extra special, especially since fascism is rearing its ugly head even more so than normal. And we're going to be talking about the history of the guillotine. I'm joined by a couple of comrades. Jordan, who is the host of 805 Uncensored. He's a longtime contributor to my show. And we got our friend Gray is also here, who's been on Jordan's show before. Hi, Gray. Hi, Jordan.
First off, Craig, congrats on episode 25.
Hey, thanks.
I used to host my show back in the early days of COVID, and so I know how hard it is, and so congratulations on that.
Yeah, I also want to echo that. Congrats.
25 is a milestone.
Yeah, it's modest and small, but for doing the show entirely by myself, as far as like recording and editing goes, and producing and all that, and having a full-time job and kids and whatnot, it's about all I can handle. All I can handle.
Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Producer,
Yeah,
you're your writer, you're your host.
Right. Yeah.
I remember that. I remember those days.
I got a spiked hot cocoa right here.
Oh, nice. Well, I've just got some water, but
I got to.
I've got my guillotine mug.
I have a vape.
All right, and along with this being the 25th episode, Jordan's debuting a new segment. He is chomping at the bit to talk about, and we're calling it Millionaire Mishaps. Where we talk about dumb things millionaires did.
And billionaires.
I liked the alliteration, so I strong-armed Jordan into calling it Millionaire Mishaps.
Zillionaires. How about we just call them zillionaires?
Just call them assholes.
You gotta be insane
to
have that much money.
Right. But Jordan also has our quote for this episode.
Yeah, on that note, Gray, the quote of the day is: to punish the oppressors of humanity is clemency, and to forgive them is cruelty.
Damn straight.
Maximilian Robespierre, which we'll talk more about later on in the episode.
Nice. Very nice. Yeah. Jordan's.
Oh, we must have decorum.
Yes. All right. So we'll start off with a little intro, and then we'll get into the history. So without further ado, we'll get rolling. So on the off chance there's someone listening to this that isn't familiar with guillotines, I thought I'd give a description. A guillotine is a machine created to carry out executions by beheading. It consists of an upright frame, usually of wood, with a weighted and angled blade suspended at the top. A condemned person is secured at the bottom of the frame, holding the position of the neck directly below the blade. The blade is then released and the head falls into a container. It's best known for its use during the French Revolution, circa 1789 to 1799, roughly in that time period.
I think it's kind of crazy that it took that long for humanity to come up with the guillotine, because it's so simple.
Well, you will find out very shortly that it was not that long. So let's get into the little bit of the history. So we'll talk about the precursors to the guillotine. The concept of a machine used for beheading was around centuries before the guillotine. There was an instance written about in 1210 and a text from the late 1500s with a picture of an execution in 1307 Ireland showing a similar device. So being able to kill people faster has been a thing. It's been around for quite a while. Traditionally beheadings were just a guy with an axe, right? Or a sword.
Yeah.
But they were like, no, we got to do this better. We need to do this faster because we got more people to kill. We don't get, they're not a lot.
So many.
There's not a lot of daylight. So we got to kill them faster. So anyway, and then finally a beheading device called the Maiden was constructed in Scotland and used from 1564 until 1710. This is all AD, since I didn't say. Okay, originally the guillotine was called the Louisette, 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 after inventor Antoine Louis. It later became the guillotine after physician Joseph Ignace Guillotine, who was an opponent of the death penalty. And he tried to have a less painful alternative to the, quote, breaking wheel implemented for executions. I didn't look up what a breaking wheel is, but I've heard of other things called like the wheel, and I suspect it's similar. And they used to like break people's arms and legs and put them on a wheel and like make their arms and legs like conform to this wheel. So I think that's what it is. And that's horrible, obviously. So I suppose the guillotine's better.
Well, you know, you got to remember the oldies, but goodies, the Judas Cradle. Where I believe you're put into a kettle and you're pretty much, and they put the kettle into like a flame, so you're pretty much cooked alive.
I think I've somewhere along the line in my 46 years, I've heard of something
Iron
like that.
Maiden is another where they like stick a iron up your butt or something like that.
Ugh,
like, there's so many good ones.
Yeah. Well,
the rat trap.
The rat trap.
One thing humanity can do is hurt
invent
people.
Twisted ways of killing people.
There's this other one I forget where they put like they plant bamboo under you, and they bamboo grows like 3 meters a day. So eventually it's going to go right into you and stab right through you.
Well,
that sounds horrible.
Uh-huh.
I know about the VC traps with the punji sticks. Like the sharpened bamboo.
Yeah, they'd bury them, right?
Yeah, and then they would create also like snake pits.
Uh-huh. Oh my God.
Well, that's for another episode.
Yeah.
Highwayman Nicholas Jacques Pelletier was the first person executed via guillotine on April 25th, 1792 at Paris City Hall. Before and during the French Revolution and the Reign of Terror, which was the late 1780s until about the mid 1790s, roughly 17,000 people were guillotined throughout France. Before the invention of the guillotine, nobility was beheaded, but commoners were hanged. And in the early stages of the French Revolution, the slogan, quote, to the lamppost, unquote, was used by revolutionaries when they hanged officials and aristocrats from street lanterns to symbolize the inequality of the class war. Go ahead, Gray.
Could you give the audience and myself a history refresher? Like, I do know what happens during the French Revolution, but like, can we get like, I don't know. I just need like things to like.
Sure. So one thing it did was, one of the things they did during the French Revolution was kill a ton of priests and Catholic leadership figures because they were tired of the church dictating everything, and they were trying to get out from under the yoke of Christian oppression. And so, you know, I'm sure you already know, but the Catholic Church was one of the largest landholders in the world back, you know, before then, but up until then too. And then, especially during the French Revolution, and I think a little earlier before that, the Protestant Reformation in England, when they kicked they did pretty much the same thing to the Catholics in England. couple hundred years earlier. But that was one of the driving forces. And then the other one was the monarchy. They did not like the monarchy, which was dictated, of course, as divine right, from the Catholics, right? Which the English also had a problem with, which that's what led to the Reformation.
And then all of this too is coexisting along with the Enlightenment. So people are seeking alternative forms of government away from monarchies.
Yep. And there was, in prepping for this episode, I read a little bit about how there was a lot of just secular expression being expanded in France. Just not they didn't like Catholicism, but they didn't like any religion, right? A lot of them were atheistic. So
okay.
Or at least didn't wanted, like Jordan said, the Enlightenment part to be like, look, no, you guys don't know what you're talking about. We should listen to these people saying things like, the sun is the center of the solar system and whatnot, and not the earth and shit like that. Right. Which happened long before the French Revolution, but still, like, that was part of it, right?
The sentiment was still there.
Yeah. Okay, so to the lamppost, quote unquote. That was the slogan used early on, anyway, by the revolutionaries. If I remember correctly, I think it was before they started using the guillotine like a lot. And like I said, the inequality of the class war. King Louis XVI was guillotined on January 21st, 1793, followed by his wife, Queen Marie Antoinette, on October 16th, 1793. Guillotine executions were popular, attracting large crowds with vendors selling merch. And Parisian lower class radicals considered the guillotine a positive force for progress.
So one thing that I thought was interesting, Craig, that I never knew is how long Marie Antoinette actually lived after Louis's execution. I would have thought that she was killed much sooner than that.
Yeah, I think that they were like back to back.
I didn't look into
10 months.
Yeah. Right. I saw that gap too, and I was like, that's weird, but I didn't look into why.
Yeah, okay.
But you would expect that was monarch, still a queen, right? Although she wouldn't have had any succession rights, right? But I don't think it would have been whoever their oldest son was, right? If there was one, or their oldest daughter, I guess. But at any rate, I didn't mention it earlier, but one of the revolutionaries, who played a huge role was Max Robespierre, as Jordan mentioned with his quote earlier. But Jordan's going to give us a little background on Max Robespierre.
Yeah, thanks for that, Craig. Robespierre is a really interesting guy, and I just feel like he's not really talked about much, and he plays a highly impactful role with the French Revolution. So he was a French lawyer and statesman, and one of the most influential figures in the entire French Revolution. He was leader of the Jacobins. This was a revolutionary faction and the most influential political group in the entire French Revolution. So he was widely considered a progressive for his time. He advocated for the right to bear arms, the right to petition, and the complete abolition of the Atlantic slave trade. He pushed for the execution of Louis XVI, and he was probably the loudest advocate for this, by the way. He said before Louis's trial, but if Louis is absolved, if he may be presumed innocent, all the defenders of liberty become slanderers. He was determined to convince the jury that the king needed to die, and his persuasion worked, and Louis was executed by guillotine ultimately, like we said, on the 21st of January, 1793. And so he's this powerful, influential speaker because of his training as a lawyer. but also he just has this tendency to rally up people in France.
Nice.
He ultimately forms the Committee of Public Safety after the execution of Louis. The Committee of Public Safety was revolutionary France's provincial government, and it was led by Robespierre and formed following the execution of Louis. And its purpose was to rid France of any domestic or foreign anti-revolutionary actors. And so you could quickly see how that could get out of control. So the Reign of Terror happens immediately after that. There's massacres, mass executions ensue on anyone that's considered remotely anti-revolutionary is executed via guillotine. And it's all led by Robespierre and his Committee of Public Safety. So he's eventually executed through his own laws. He was increasingly viewed as a liability among people in his inner circle, including by his closest friends. His uncompromising stances, dogmatic pursuit of enemies, and dictatorial attitudes, they believed would see them all eventually go to the guillotine if they were not careful. They organized a coup, they arrested him. In his attempts to escape, he tried to commit suicide, but only ended up shooting himself in the jaw. He was captured and tried, along with 12 other so-called Robespierrists, for counter-revolutionary activity, and they were condemned to death by the rules of the law of 22 Prairial, one of the laws introduced during the terror with Robespierre's approval. He was then beheaded by the guillotine, and reportedly the crowd cheered for a solid 15 minutes following his execution.
Wow.
Damn. It sounds like they were scared of him at the end.
Yeah, they were terrified of him. It kind of, like, to me, I mean, he obviously had very different politics and very different worldview, but to me, it just, in terms of the sheer fear that the public had about him, it reminded me about like the death of Stalin towards the end of his death, or towards like his death, and how people in Soviet Russia, like how terrified they were of Stalin at that point.
Yeah. Yep. And, you know, when you were talking about him earlier, Robespierre earlier, it reminded me of something. I don't remember where I read this, but someone, it was probably a social media post, but someone said, you know, you kind of start to appreciate why Stalin just started shooting everybody. When you look around at what's happening in the United States right now, with so many people that when, you know, if and when the Trump administration is out, like so many of them need to be put in jail and put on trial, right?
Yeah.
And like, that's going to be very messy, right? Like, they're not just going to give up, right? You know what I mean? They're not just going to go willingly, right? It's going to be bad.
I mean,
but that's what needs to happen.
Accountable, though.
What's that?
I mean, even if like there is some kind of trial, they're not going to be held accountable.
No, of course not. But like, you know, they should just be put in Gitmo and left to rot, right? Like, really. I mean, they're Nazis. They are literal Nazis.
But even then, we didn't punish the literal Nazis.
No, so. not certainly not well enough. And you know,
like
no, fuck no. In many
are not successful.
They were assimilated into the United States, and I think into Russia too. I
was just gonna say, and if we're talking about paperclip, in those instances, their lives got better after World War II.
Right. Yeah, they came to the United States and got jobs, and some of them were put in NATO.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
They're like, oh my god, this is so nice.
Well, basically, they were put into a position where they could freeze their asses off in Siberia and be a scientist there, or they could move to California and then go to Caltech.
Yeah,
or work at NASA.
Cape Canaveral.
Yeah.
Johnson Space Center, probably.
Yeah. You know what? I like the beach.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to freeze. No.
You know,
but yeah, it's just it's ironic that his death ultimately came because of all the laws that he introduced. You create your own downfall.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Or maybe he believed in it so much where he was just like, you're so right. You're so right, Twin. No, I'm kidding.
I mean, you got to think that,
like, you got me.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of innocent people died.
Yeah, and even if he didn't think like, yeah, yep, you got me, like you said, Gray. None of them were going to survive.
No,
right?
yeah.
Not very likely anyway, right?
No.
And
because he definitely saw enemies everywhere.
Right. I mean, when I say not survive, I mean Robespierre and some of the other like leaders
then
of the revolution.
In comes in Napoleon, right?
Yeah,
I think so.
Napoleon is like, okay, I know he did some like good things though, right? Didn't he like implement like
I'm not a Napoleonic scholar.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay, because from what I'm remembering from AP World is that in the early days of Napoleon, he was able to implement public education, as well as like some kind of like social safety nets within France, and that's what made him a little bit popular. And then he went full on dictator, and he's like,
yeah, I just know about all the colonialism.
Yeah, and then he's like, "Ooh, Europe! You know what? You look really nice."
Indochina. Let's take that.
Yeah,
Vietnam.
Yeah. Oh, Russia! Fuck you! I'm gonna go get you.
Russia in the winter.
Let's go fight Russia in the winter.
So he needed climate change. He needed to fight Russia in like 2019.
Like, no, maybe he had like a vision, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we must go fight them because I see Russia in not cold in the winter." But it's just him seeing what happens in 2019.
All right. So a little bit more about the history here, and we'll talk about some of the other countries that use the guillotine, including the United States of America.
Well, see, I hear like public execution. I know, I got myself. Public executions in the United States. I think of like when they strap a person onto the chair and they inject someone.
Yeah, lethal injection.
Yeah.
But
there was hangings and whatnot.
And hangings.
Yeah.
So that was another thing I meant to mention about Robespierre. Like guillotine, he was opposed to the death penalty, but he was an advocate for the guillotine because he thought it was more what's the word that I'm looking for?
Humane?
Yes. Yeah, he thought it was more humane.
Yep. So guillotines were the primary method of capital punishment in France until 1981. That's right.
What?
1981. In my lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
In my lifetime.
That's not that long ago at all.
It's not. It is not. It's 40, but just about 45 years ago.
Way too recent for the guillotine.
Yeah. Newly elected socialist president Francois Mitterrand backed abolition efforts by Robert Badinter, the Minister of Justice. And according to author Jorn Fabricius, the last government execution by guillotine took place on September 10th, 1977 in France.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And it was a Tunisian who was found guilty of murder. 1977, they were still guillotining
That's
people.
wild.
It's so wild. That is so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. The guillotine was also used in Germany, mostly during the German Empire and subsequent Weimar.
Which empire?
The German Empire and subsequent Weimar Republic. So like the early part of the 1800s till the early part of the 1900s, right up until World War One, and then during the Weimar Republic after World War One, it was used. However, the Germans made their guillotines out of metal instead of wood, and developed a faster blade recovery mechanism, allowing for quicker executions. Because of course we need that.
So
also,
Germans like, we can make it better.
Yeah,
we can make it more lethal and faster.
Also, the Nazis used the guillotine to execute roughly 16,000 prisoners, including Marinus van der Lubbe, a Dutch communist blamed for the Reichstag fire. After World War II, the East Germans used guillotines for a time. I think it was like from like 1950 to 1966, it said, or something like that. Like just the government itself used it for their normal like executions. And then also it was noted that apparently the Stasi, the East German secret police, used it for their secret executions. You know, it was Wikipedia, so who knows who wrote that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was true. And I have a note here that says, "That's right, dear liberal. Communists oppose fascism." They were killed by Nazis and subsequently killed all the Nazis, or a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
Not what we're taught in American schools, that America did it by ourselves. But the guillotine was used in other countries as well, mostly in Europe and a few other places in the Western Hemisphere. Usually, if they were in the Western Hemisphere, it was a French colony. I didn't write it down, but I think it said Martinique and like French Guinea or French Guiana.
The French territories were actually places that Robespierre spoke specifically about wanting to ban the slave trade in. He wanted it banned across the board, but he was especially focused in areas that were French controlled, of course, because he was in France.
Sure. Yeah, and the French,
they're fucking brutal colonialism.
Yeah, I got 2 episodes about the fucking French colonialism. You could go to my back catalog and listen to those.
And here's the thing, like when we talk about colonialism, we do focus a lot on, Turtle Island, which is totally, valid. But God, Africa and China.
Oh yeah,
Australia.
It happened everywhere.
And
Aotearoa, New Zealand.
Like the whole world. Like this is a global issue.
White people
returning land to
everywhere.
To indigenous people, like people think like, oh, it's just a Turtle Island issue. Like it's just about them. Like no,
it's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere.
Like decolonize. When we talk about decolonization, it's the world. This is a global issue.
It's a global issue. It definitely is. 100%. Yeah. No, it can't be talked about enough.
Mm-hmm. And it's so funny. I'm so sorry to
No, you're good.
Jump topics or anything, but it's so funny because I'll catch, bitches in conversation about Palestine. And they're like, well, in that logic, then we need to return the land to the Native Americans. And I went, yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
There you go.
One of my favorite things from internet culture is, it's from a long time ago, but I think it was a Twitter post. Someone said that Star Wars is an allegory for the Vietnam War. And someone replied to that person's post and said, "That's only true if America is the empire." And there was like 700 comments replying to that guy that said, "Yes, that's correct."
Yeah.
And like Lucas specifically said that anyway. Like he has specifically stated that that's what it was. It was an allegory for the Vietnam War. So yeah, it's
especially
hilarious.
Return of the Jedi when they're on Endor.
Oh yeah. Yeah. For sure. All right. We got a little bit left here before we get into the millionaire mishaps. So in addition to Europe and the Western Hemisphere, the guillotine was also used in South Vietnam. And guess why? Guillotines were left over from the French colonists.
They're like, oh, look at
which
that.
is, of course, part of why the Vietnam War happened, right? French colonialism.
Yeah.
So, in the U.S. in 1996, Doug Tepper, a Georgia state representative, sponsored a bill to replace the state's electric chair with the guillotine.
What?
Yes.
What the hell?
Yep. It was unsuccessful. I thought that was a hilarious piece of Americana. Just randomly out of nowhere, this dude's just like, yeah, let's get the guillotine up and running again.
That's wild. I know.
Bro, what are you talking about?
I know they brought back the fucking firing squad.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah, because they're running out because they can't get the drugs for lethal injection anymore.
Yeah, and
that's like a serious thing. Yeah.
At the end of the first Trump administration, he was rushing out executions before Biden came in. It was just horrific.
That's right around the time I read the article about, and I can't cite it because I don't remember it, but it was set within the last 5 or 6 years that I read that the drugs for lethal injections are becoming harder and harder to get. It's crazy. There was a list of nicknames for the guillotine. I just picked a handful here I thought were some of my favorites. The Regretful Climb was one of them. Madame La Guillotine was another one. The Paper Trimmer. That made me laugh. And then my favorite one, the Patriotic Shortener.
That is a really good one.
Yeah, that made me laugh when I read that.
Some cuts may be necessary.
That's right. All right. So, either of you have anything else you guys want to say about the guillotine?
I don't think so.
All right. So this brings us to the debut of Jordan's new segment. I will drum roll. Jordan, take it away.
I'm so excited for this.
Yeah, so this is a new segment that we are debuting with the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network called Millionaire Mishaps. Basically, we document a fuck up or a death from a rich person in a comedic fashion. And this one is probably the best one I've seen so far. So this is a great way to introduce this concept.
Awesome.
Belgian Israeli billionaire, and I'm sure I'll be butchering this pronunciation, but it doesn't matter. Ehud Ari Laniado dies during a penis enlargement surgery. Once again, I'll read that again.
Read that again.
Belgian Israeli billionaire dies during penis enlargement surgery.
It's fucking awesome. So awesome. I love that music, Greg. Oh my god.
And then also the subtitle is really funny too. He had been due to be in Belgian court to face tax evasion charges.
No.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh fuck, I'm crying.
Oh, that shit is so awesome. Of course he was. Of course he was evading
So,
taxes.
so motherfucker was in court, and then he was like, "I'm gonna get a penis enlargement because I need to treat myself. I've been going through a hard time.
Big dick energy.
Treat myself and go get a penis enlargement
So stupid.
and then die."
I love it.
And then somebody wrote
That's
an article
what we
about it.
Yeah, there's an article about it. We got to hear more. What else you got?
I fucking because of
Daniel
capitalism.
Sugarman, come on, let's give us the tea.
All right. Belgian Israeli billionaire has died while undergoing penis enlargement surgery, while with his company describing him as a visionary businessman.
Yeah, he was a visionary that evaded tax and died from vanity surgery. I love it.
Yeah, 65-year-old diamond trader passed away from a heart attack after an unnamed substance was injected into his penis during the procedure, which took place at a private French clinic. Oh, it does have a connection to France
Lauren,
too.
I need to read this next paragraph. Mr. Lenadio, I don't know, who had gone under a number of plastic surgeries in the past, was the owner of Omega Diamonds. That is insane. Wait, but the motherfucker, this is not his first time under the knife.
Nope.
He sold the world's most expensive diamond back in 2015 to a Hong Kong billionaire.
And it says that guy was a convicted felon. Scroll back up.
Yeah.
Joseph Lau Loon Hung is the Hong Kong billionaire who was a convicted felon. That's amazing. Oh, God. Hilarious.
Literally.
Yeah. So that is our first millionaire mishap.
Wah, wah.
Oh, man, that is brilliant. That is brilliant. I can't wait to hear more of those, man. Those are going to be great.
I want to be friends with that journalist.
Yeah, no kidding.
Let's go.
You should try and get a hold of him and see if you could interview him for your show. That would be awesome. That would be so.
I wonder.
Awesome.
Well, this is the Jewish Chronicle. I wonder if this is an Israeli website.
Might be.
But yeah, that'd be funny if I got a hold of him.
Be great. It's worth a shot. Although he might not think it's as funny as we do.
No. When he wrote this article, he was like, I am so sad about this guy. He was just trying to get his penis big.
He doesn't work there anymore. He hasn't worked there since 2019.
Oh, bummer.
And that article was written in 2019. What if they fired him after that?
Dude, that would be a great story.
I'm gonna leave out with a bang. And
what if? Yeah,
they're not gonna fucking want me to leave after this. You know,
they're all pissed at him for writing that.
Yeah, fucking like Carrie Bradshaw exit, and he was like, and just like that, I left the Jewish Chronicle.
I do think it's hilarious that a guy had penis enlargement surgery in France, and we were talking about the guillotine.
Yes,
that's fucking great. That tied it all together nicely.
I was glad that it had a connection to France too.
Yeah. Oh, it's great. Oh man. All right. Well, that does it for what I had prepared, and I think maybe what Jordan had prepared. Great. Do you have anything you want to talk about?
No, I mean, I was here for vibes. That was great.
Great. No, it's awesome.
The only thing I really know about the guillotine, I learned a lot about the guillotine today. But before, all I knew about it was, oh yeah, it's what the French did. They went boom.
Yes.
People's heads.
Right on.
And then there was Marie Antoinette, and then there was Louis, and So yeah, it was really fun. I had fun, guys. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah, you bet. So Jordan, where can people find you if they want to find out more about your show and whatnot?
Yeah, so I'm on all the major social media platforms, TikTok, Instagram, etc. You can find us on YouTube to listen or watch the show. I'm still on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, etc. So yeah.
Nice. Right on. Great. If people want to connect with you, you want to share your deets?
Yeah, so on Instagram, I'm Gray Arias 2023. And on TikTok, I am Big Bitch Gray Jolene Arias. So yeah.
All right.
And yeah, I do a lot of like live theater. So
Sweet.
I'm doing the show. Just check out my social media, and if you want to go see it, that's awesome.
Excellent.
We just did a episode together about theater and capitalism.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, y'all should go check that out too.
For sure. So, all right. Well, thanks, comrades, for joining me. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Episode 25.
Woo! Yeah, this of course is a presentation of the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network.
Free Palestine, read A Tale of Two Cities.
That does it for the show. Thanks for listening. Voices from the Left is a presentation of the Anti-Capitalist Podcast Network. Special thanks to Nick Josephs for the use of the theme song. You can find Nick on Spotify or on the web at nickjosephs.com. Don't forget to rate and review on whichever platform you listen. If you'd like to support the show, you can subscribe at patreon.com/voicesfromtheleft or donate at buymeacoffee.com/voicesfromtheleft. All the links will be in the show notes. Thanks for listening, and solidarity.